Thank you for taking the time to view this training and for everything you do to keep our drivers rolling and our customers happy. In this training, we will look at the Lytx compliance tool and how you can use it to quickly determine how your drivers are doing with their hours of service violations and with form and manner issues. The Lytx tool is very powerful and has many features, but today we will only look quickly at two to get started with. From the login screen, you will input your username and password and choose Login. This will take you to the dashboard where you can quickly view driver ranking, hours of service violations by percentage, and the current CSA scores. You should only be able to see your site and drivers within your site. Clicking on the arrow at the top right of any card on the dashboard will give you more detailed information and an easily viewable graph so you can quickly see how your site has done over time. To view hours of service and form and manner for your drivers, click on Driver Logs from the left-hand side of the screen. From here, you can click on the links to the left, but I like to use the menus at the top. We will navigate through Driver Logs, Log Management, Company Reports, and click on Company Management Summary. Here is where we will set the parameters for the reporting period we want to see. First, we will choose the organization or site we want to view. You should only have your site available unless you are responsible for more than one site. We'll pick on ISI California since they are first in the list here. Next, make sure both active and casual driver statuses are selected. Lytx sees part-time drivers as casual because they do not have the same number of logs as your full-time drivers. So choose both so that all drivers are included. Next, set your start and end date for the time period you wish to view. Next, you need to decide if you want to view the report as an Excel file that you can manipulate or if you want it to display as a web page. Both ways have benefits. The web page view will allow you to quickly go to the logs that have issues. Next, choose log accuracy information and counseling information. Finally, if you want to see all drivers in your site, even if they do not have any issues for the time period you set, choose to include all drivers. We'll look at this information as a web page first, so we'll leave the Excel option unchecked and click Build Report. Here is the summary. From left to right, the report tells us if the driver has any of the following hours of service violations: driving beyond 11 hours, driving beyond 14 hours, driving beyond 70 hours, and if they miss their taking a full 30-minute rest break. The next three columns deal with paper log submissions that do not apply to what we're talking about today. The next two columns tell us if the driver missed completing a pre- or post-trip inspection, or if the inspection logged was less than 10 minutes for white glove drivers or less than 15 minutes for dedicated drivers. Now that a computer is auditing the logs for us, an inspection of 9 minutes and 59 seconds or 14 minutes and 59 seconds or less will be flagged as an issue. In the past, some grace was given to the driver so the auditor did not need to calculate seconds. The next three columns again deal with paper log submissions. The final group of columns from left to right tell us if the following form and manner issues occurred. No manifest tells us that 1, 2, or all 3 pieces of shipping information are missing from the log. Missing logs tells us that the computer expected to see a log where there was no log. This could come from the driver being on Penske, being on paper, or some other type of issue we need to investigate. Team violations is the co-driver off-duty in the passenger seat of a moving vehicle violation. Lytx currently assigns this to both drivers, so you will need to investigate further to see who the actual co-driver was at the time of the violation. Finally, inaccurate events tells us if a driver missed notating a fuel stop, DOT inspection, or any other on-duty activity we would expect to see notated. One issue we are currently experiencing is that Lytx looks for the notation within a 30-minute window. The reports we receive for fuel are in Eastern time, so if you have a driver outside of the Eastern time zone, it will flag for missing notation even if the driver notates it. A quick view of the log will tell us if the driver notated it or not. This is where the Excel spreadsheet comes in handy because you'd be able to change the value in that column to 0 to reflect that the driver did it correctly. The last 4 columns tell us how many logs the computer reviewed, how many issues were found, and then those issues are multiplied by a point value set by safety based on severity. Finally, if a counseling report has already been generated for the driver in the given time period, the following column will state yes. To investigate violations and issues further, simply click on the driver's ID. If we scroll down, we can see each day's issue. A flag indicates that this is a repeat offense and the driver should be coached accordingly. Clicking on the log date will load that day's log to review. If we scroll down to the remarks, we can see that fuel was indeed notated. It was simply outside the time period that Lytx expected to see since this is a California driver, so there is no issue here. However, Lytx also said that this driver had a post-trip issue, and if we look at the very bottom of the log remarks, we see the driver did indeed miss completing a post-trip inspection in the ELD system. Now that we know that the driver has an issue we need to address, let's look at the second feature Lytx offers to us. If we go back to the main menu screen and navigate through Driver Logs, Log Management, Driver Logs and Reports, and click on Driver Counseling, we get to a page that we can enter comments on. We'll set up the same date range as we chose for the summary. Then enter the driver's last name in the search for driver field. We'll pick on Mr. Kelly again since he gave us permission to do so for this training. Either a box will pop up that will allow you to choose from a list of drivers with the same last name, or if there's only one, it will load that driver's logs for you. Scrolling down, we see the issues we found in the summary. Again, we can click on those individually to refresh ourselves on what the issue actually was, or if there were any issues at all. We already know that Mr. Kelly missed his post-trip on 7/1, so we can type in the comment box what we discussed with him. We want to make sure we enter our name in the counseled by field as well, or it will not build the report for us. Once you are satisfied with your input, choose the Word format option, then click Build Report. This will generate a report in your Downloads folder that you can print out if you'd like. In order to save the counseling report in Lytx, simply uncheck Word format and then click Save. Lytx will give you a message that the counseling report has been saved. Thank you for your time in completing this training, and thank you for all that you do to help us be successful. If you have any questions, reach out to your safety person.